Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Today, we'll be looking at a Inzoi cooking update and some interesting facts and ads that will be in the game at early access and some that will be on after. Let's take a look. Now, here are the keys that will be in the game by early access, which will be March 28th, or that will be after. Now, here are keys. Now, these may have been overlooked because, understand, this dev team is a little different. They actually read the comments of their community. So, the head dev actually responded under one of the comments and had this as post. So, again, they're even updating within the comments. So, you understand they're really there. So, clearly, they saw people talking about, which I also had people comment under my video as well, about how they really wasn't liking the buying the stuff from the refrigerator. They weren't really feeling that. That was something they did not enjoy. It didn't feel authentic. People don't want another Sims idea going on. So with that in mind, what did they do? They now have made it where that is no longer an option. You can no longer spend money at the refrigerator to get your goods. You can't do that no more. It's not gonna happen. So basically now, you will have it, you see there, you'll be able to now purchase or gather in your goods. So gather would obviously be going in your garden. So if you're gonna be someone that wants to plant or garden, this here will be very key for you. Or you'll just have to go to the store and go buy it. Now, they will also have, and this is why I put in the video caption, Doordash, they will have it where you can have the food deliveries. Now, this will be key. I'm curious what that will look like as far as, will it be seamless? Will someone actually be coming to your home, or will it come automatically? But the reason why I have it basically as Doordash is I think it's in everybody's conscious to use some type of, wherever you are in the world, whatever service that is, it's almost commonplace now to order things to your home. Now, some do go out and still get it, and I said they don't, but in most, it's kind of common. So I think that's why you felt the influence of it on the devs to make that change, which they did do, which I think was the best idea. Now, I think another thing is the greatest too. When you eat, you do have a tired feeling for some. That's why some people, after they go for a walk or they smoke or like whatever they want to do, but so now you'll actually have a food coma where like you'll be very tired. So Zoids will have different effects to food just like anybody else would. These are all things that will be available to us as soon as the game gets into early access release again. That will be March 28th. So, and again, even though the cooking stuff looks already incredible, the animations, you can clearly see what that would mean. I would expect them to now fix the problem and have the food, when you eat it, come directly to your mouth. Thank you. Sorry. So I think that's the best way it's going to work. I think that'll be the best way. And I think at least that way you can fully have a good animation, because if not, it's going to feel a bit dull, not together. And I just don't think that's going to work well. So again, I do think it's really, really great that they decided to improve the quality of cooking animation. And I expect now that when you eat, it's going to look more realistic. So when you bite, it should go to your lips, then to your teeth to chew, and then so forth and so forth. So again, I think it's really good they did that. Now, to take a little sneak peek into what will be available to you and all of us as of early access after, once the game is out and they've heard some comments from us, what to fix, what to not fix. In a further update, you will have cooking jobs that will include a freelance option. So on days you want to help out somewhere, you'll be able to help out. It won't be as tied to you, but you will have jobs that are purely aimed towards cooking. So remember, we've seen some trailers that had you owning your own bakery like calf type of thing vibe. So that probably would come into handy with something like this. You will have basically intermediate fasting in the game, which would be very interesting. I'm curious to see how people play that. I want to play it that way. That's sort of how I eat as well. So it's cool because now Zoids will have certain eating patterns, such as specifics to ingredients, eating cycles. So it's gonna be cool how to see people how they manage that with the intermediate fasting type of system, because you'll be able to monitor your Zoi very, very well in detail. I think even though we know it's gonna be detailed, I think we're gonna be blown away by how detailed it is. I think we really, really are. Now, that's why they mentioned gathering. So gathering ingredients through gardening. Now, here's where it gets a bit confusing. They do say by early access, you can gather. So I'm curious, how then can we gather it then if we can't do that by early access? So I'll be curious to see what that looks like in the game, but at least you know you'll be definitely going to the store to purchase it. And that was the main thing people wanted. I think people really wanted it to begin with. And here's something that I think is really awesome and great, that there's going to be multiplayer cooking available. So I think for some that want to play multiplayer, and I know I had someone reach out to me already about that, and I think that is a great idea already. I think that would be cool, and if anyone wants to play multiplayer, I would be totally welcome to do that. I'll post it on the channel, and your name will get tagged, all that. So yeah, it would be really, really cool. So that would be cool to have another feature coming, cooking together. So that's another awesome feature that will be coming in the game after early access. But again, I don't think you'll be waiting too long for any of these, to be honest. I think you'll be fully to go with this and not too long in the future. This dev team seems to be very active. They actually like to interact with their community, so I think it will go off very well, very great. And I'm looking forward to actually seeing what they add up to. So I look forward to that very, very much. Now, I think it's important to always break it down. Now, I do think it's important we just quickly go over some things individually in sections so we get it clear just quickly, and then we'll just go on with how we had to do here. Now, these are the stuff that will be available to you at the beginning of early access. That will be March 28th of this year. So here we go again. You will not be spending any money at the refrigerator, That is gone, that is done. You will be have to buy your goods, go to the store, or gathering. Again, I'm confused a bit because they're saying that you can't gather from the garden until after early access. So how will you gather? So I'm curious to see how they do that. Do you go to a street vendor? I don't know. We'll find out. You do also have the food stuff will get delivered. That's why I kind of put in the caption again, Doordash, that kind of the trick to see, because that's the kind of trick they're pretty much going to use. Because if you think about it, most people order their food now. So the trick in the game is you want the game to feel a little realistic. You want almost to trick us into feeling realistic. That's why I said trick, because you want us to feel almost realistic. You want it to feel realistic. So again, and then we have the different effects are applied to Zoids after eating certain foods. So basically, hey, like all of us, when you eat, after you eat, you get a little sleepy, and you might begin to a little food coma or something like that. That's happened to the best of us. That's happened to all of us we can't be ashamed about that. It is what it is. So that would be cool. And the quality of the animations will improve with the eating, which again, it already looks amazing. So hey, that's a wow factor already. Just 2 keys for me. You will no longer have to spend money at the refrigerator. I can't even go into how many people mentioned, I don't like that, I don't like that, that's like The Sims, I don't like that. So clearly that was heard too by the dev team, and they said, okay, we got to get that thing changed up quickly. We do not want to have anything that seems like was a major complaint in the game and then it gets overlooked. So I think that was very smart of them to do that, to not do anything to seem like you're not listening to what the main people are saying. The passion for this game is ridiculous when you think about it. There's people talking about certain posts from weeks ago, and it seemed like it's fresh because the conversation is so lively. There's so much passion for the game here, so very important they listen to us as they should. And again, so you also have there the all the ingredients are obtained through external means. You have to go get it. Now, again, my only confusion is, what do they mean by that when it says the gathering part? I know the purchasing part, I'll go to the store, which is what everyone's been asking for, and we are grateful they did that. But when you say gathering, well, okay, how are we going to gather it if it's going to be in early access? But then after early access, you can gather plants. I mean, from the gardening. So I'm curious how that's going to work out right there within itself, and we'll have to see. We'll just have to see how it's going to look with that. It is what it is. We'll have to take a look and see how it's going to feel with that, and see what it's going to be with that. Quickly, the food, the deliveries, again, it's going to feel like DoorDash, because I think in our conscience, everyone somewhere in the world has a food delivery service. Now, not everywhere. I know some may be a bit more remote than others, all depending on where you are, and I totally respect that. Some do still go to the store, which is great because the game is about that too. You also go to the store. But I think for a good portion of us in the community, I think that's why that impression was so pronounced. So that's why that'll be added on as well. And it's important to understand that food will affect Zoids differently. Some will like some of us when you eat. Like some of us, when you eat, you will, get tired and get sleepy, and that's going to be basically called a food coma. And that's pretty much going to be kind of cool. I think it's really cool to keep things in perspective of how it's going to feel when you eat and all those things. I think it's a really, really smart way to do it, and I'm really glad that they're doing it that way. And again, I think the key thing is here, they're going to make sure the food is improved, which means that when you eat and go chew, it will go to the lips, to the teeth, and it will seem like the food is there being chewed, not like before we saw it in the gameplay video. The food was almost like it just didn't look realistic, and I know some even in my video commented to that as well. So I'm glad that'll be improved, and overall just little polishing to an already great looking food thing. So they're just great as well. Now, here are the things that are planned after early access. Again, I don't expect it to be too long after. Like, we're not going to be waiting a year for this stuff, and it's not going to be DLC package like the Sims does to make more cash, So they're going to do it right. So I think keys, you will have jobs that are based on around cooking, including freelance positions. Now, I'm curious, how will that look? Will you be able to, just have a job as a chef in a bakery? Do you need to be at a certain skill system to do that? So all that to me is very important. I'm curious how all that plays out and works out. Also, here's where it gets tricky for me. Gather ingredients through gardening. Well, you told me in early access I can gather my food to cook. how can I do that if it's planned after early access to get that? So that's where that, for me, gets a bit confusing, and I think they will need to clarify that. Or again, when we play, we'll just have to see how the process goes. I'm sure it's going to look great and be cool either way, but it's important that we can gauge exactly what it is and what it looks like. Now, we also will have something that I think will be very cool. That will be, you can cook together. That will be a group activity. I'm curious how they'll do that. I'm hoping it will be in multiplayer. I believe it will, and I'm looking forward to them seeing how they do that. How they make it. Can you each pick a role and you cook one thing and then you help get that, or you go get that? I think it'll be cool how you do that, and then how the mods can play off that as well. It can, like, you can make your own chef team that make a steak dinner. It can just look really cool type of thing. So yeah, that'd be awesome to see. Quickly, a few keys here. So again, you would have the cooking related jobs that could be base freelance. I think freelance will be more like, hey, I'm basically doing other stuff, but I also like to cook and bake. I can be a chef or be a help in a bakery, and I could do things. So I'm curious what they mean by freelance. That should be cool to see how they work that out. And again, I think it's going to be very cool to see how they do the intermediate fasting and how all that come together. It should be kind of cool and well done, but always curious to see how you do it in the game so it feels seamless. So I want to point out again, gathering ingredients through gardening, what that is going to mean. So clearly you're going to garden, get your stuff, you can eat it, cook it, right, all that, we got that. But I'm just curious what they mean, because when they mention in early access, you will no longer be buying your food from the fridge, because we all just did not like that. It did not feel authentic. That's great. And you also can go to the store and go buy your goods, come home cooked. That's actually what we want, so we're glad about that. But I'm curious because they also mentioned that in early access, you can purchase, you can gather things. So how can we gather if we can garden after? So I'm curious to see what that will look like and how that feels. But other than that, it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to everything. And this week here was a key update. I think it maybe went a bit unnoticed because, again, the head dev did go down the comments and put this under, so I'm not sure everyone caught it, so it was good to make sure we had a video to make sure everyone did catch it as well. I want to say thank you for watching today's video. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.